like you said, I don't know.
BLG, is there something we're missing here on the offense? I mean, the offense has been the side of the football. I think everybody would agree that underperformed last year, and maybe you could even make an argument longer. I know they had Saquon Barkley have a crazy season, but passing game's been subpar for the last couple of seasons, and really no personnel changes. BLG got Goddard back. Got all the offensive linemen are coming back. AJ right now is coming back. Devontae Smith. It's the same offense, except a whole new coaching staff. Is that the right approach to fix this thing? Or is there something we're missing? Do you think personnel changes are coming? How do you see it?
Well, I still think personnel changes are coming, obviously, at wide receiver when it comes to AJ. But that doesn't make you better. That makes you worse. So, yeah, it's a great point. Clearly, their actions tell you they feel like coaching was a big part of it, and not so much the personnel. But the personnel is a big factor, especially when it comes to the players who are still going to be back, but we don't know what we're going to see out of them in 2026 when it comes to like Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens, the offensive line, you could say almost as a whole. So there's still a lot of question marks here with this offense. I think they're kind of living off reputation, a little bit at this point. Like you look at the names and they're good names, but are they the full versions of themselves? Like, can you really count on that? So there's still a lot up in the air, I think, when it comes to this offense in terms of being able to project them, because you just don't know. You know the names, but you don't know what versions of them you're going to get. Also, funny on the tight end point you made, like it's funny that Howie kind of talked about needing to alter the dynamic of that room a little bit, which correct, but then it's just like the only difference is Johnny Munt's here. And again,
Johnny Munt, baby. That's your altering change to the tight end room.
By the way, did you see the Johnny Munt contract? I assume you did. He might not make this team either.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to make this team over the summer, especially if they draft a kid who's got more of a blocking profile, and it is a deep tight end draft. So we'll see how that shakes out. One thing I did not know, and I've since found out, is that we haven't talked about it, but the Andy Dalton trade, and its impact on potentially moving Tanner McKee. Now, I had not known, but Andy Dalton requested a trade from Carolina because he didn't want to be a third-string quarterback there, and they signed Kenny Pickett, ironically. And he requested for a trade. And he goes to Philadelphia, and they gave up a 7th round. No big deal. Makes $4 million, which is a lot for a third-string quarterback. And the Eagles are approaching it as he is the quarterback 3. In your mind, is there like a wink, wink? Well, settle. We're going to move Tanner at some point. The last time they did this was Joe. It was opposite. It was the veteran that had Joe Flacco, I believe, in 2021. Then they traded for Gardner Minshew, and Gardner started out as the quarterback 3, but eventually they moved Joe to the Jets. Do you think that happening in reverse is at some point they're going to move on from Tanner?
Yeah, then the difference there is that Gardner was on his rookie contract, so that's like reasonable that he could be salary wise a third quarterback, like you said with Andy Dalton. That's not reasonable quarterback 3 money. And if Tanner McKee gets demoted to quarterback 3, which I don't see happening, like that's not good either. So there isn't really a great outcome here, other than the Eagles find a trade partner for Tanner McKee, which I think they would like to do in like an ideal world, but I don't think they're in a rush to do that. I don't think they're going to just trade him for, anything they can get in return. And they shouldn't, because there's, you don't need a 7th round pick for Tanner McKee. But it's a weird one to me because, they've talked about liking McKee a lot, but he's going in his contract year. And I mean, it's not the end of the world if he plays out this season as your backup and he walks next year. Like, that's not a disaster outcome, but that's kind of like, okay, what was the point of this? Like we drafted and developed, and we didn't really even see anything out of it. So that's the weird part to me.
Yeah, I guess just security for the years that you did have him, but only 2 years as the backup. BLG, I want to give you a different look here at AJ. Is there a chance that trading AJ without even considering the headache, him not wanting to be here, the tweets, all that crap, leave that all aside? Is there a chance the Eagles trading A.J. Brown right now makes sense from a perspective of he's 29 years old? Statistically, he's a declining player. Now, maybe you could chalk it up to the offense or the player, whatever you want to do. And if they can get a first-round pick for that guy, I mean, does that make sense for the Eagles to do right now without even considering the variables of him not wanting to be in Philly or making it harder to be in Philly?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't think that's what's top of mind for them. I do think that comes up in the overall equation of if you're making the pros and cons columns. I think that, it's something they evaluate, but I still don't think, that's like the number one reason. I think that's
Right.
you can add that into the other things that we're leaving out for now, but I think ultimately, are the biggest driver and factor in this decision.
Do you think his best days are behind him?
No, I still think he has some good runway in front of him here, especially with the right. If you're getting if you're getting the fully motivated, happy, like
Right.
engaged version of him, I still think that player, which I have my doubts about existing here in Philadelphia at this point in time. But if he goes somewhere else and finds that joy, I still think AJ can dominate and play at a very high level. I mean, we saw it last year, not consistently. But look at the Cowboys game. Look at even maybe like the Bills game. There's that's still there. I don't think that's totally just gone away.
The poor Isaiah Rodgers, the Minnesota game, he was phenomenal in that game. So yeah, I still think AJ's got. And if he goes to New England, he'll have a better year statistically if he stays healthy, obviously. But I don't know if he's going to have similar success that he had over the 4 years he was from a team perspective, and we'll see how he handles that. I want to sort of expand the AJ conversation to the offense as a whole, because you brought up in the past before BL, they've signaled it was the coaching, right? But they're running it back, except for Marquise Brown for Jahan Dotson, essentially. So what they're telling you, no, it was the coaching. Is that realistic? Are they being honest with themselves?
I think there's how to put this. I think they know that is the best place to start. I don't think they necessarily think that it was 100% the coaching. There's nothing else at all. I think the quarterback is a big factor in it. Obviously, they're always going to be. But I think when it comes to where do we start to address this, that is the most kind of easiest lever to flip and look at that first. And then if things continue to go poorly from there, obviously then there's other levers and other buttons to push at that point. But I think this is where, you start, because it's kind of like the lowest stakes change you can kind of make while still making a big change.
That's fair. And to be fair to them, salary cap wise, it's hard to move on from these guys. Basically on the entire offensive side of the ball. So it will be interesting.